Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. And today we are going to use our spiky balls. So it doesn't really matter what kind of ball you use, as long as it's relatively firm. So a tennis ball is fine. One of those balls you stick in the tumble dryer would be fine. A dog ball, if it's not too slathered on, probably would be fine too. But if you happen to have one of the spiky balls, then you can grab that. And we've just put that to one side for now, somewhere safe where it's not going to cause a trip hazard. And I've put a couple of blocks underneath my feet here just because it makes my hips feel more comfortable when I'm sitting down. And we're going to begin sitting right at the front of our seats, making sure the buttocks are well supported, but not leaning back into the back of the chair. And then rest your hands wherever is comfortable. I wanted to share with you this mudra that I often do, which is resting the right hand in the left hand. And this is quite a nice one to do if you feel that your shoulders can relax there. So I have to do it the opposite way around to do that because I'm the opposite way around at this end. But this is a nice way to tap into the energy of the left-hand side of the body by making that the supportive hand, sorry. And some people like to join their thumbs together at the same time, and this is quite a nice pose for meditation. So when we're doing our centering at the beginning of the class, if you want to, you can hold your hands this way. So let us sit tall using either this mudra or any other position of the hands that suits you. Closing the eyes or gazing gently downward if you prefer. Take this moment to feel your way around your body. To listen to the things the body is telling you, to observe sensation in the body. And where you think the body needs it, remembering to practice with a bit of understanding, compassion, and care today. Notice at least one part of the body that feels calm, peaceful, and at ease. Allow that sense of calm, peace, and ease to ripple out from wherever it is to touch more areas of the body. Maybe to begin to soften some of our long-held tension or discomfort. Move your awareness to your breathing and observe your natural, spontaneous breath. Today we're going to focus on the rhythm of our breath. So notice in your natural breath, if your breath is continuous, from inhale to exhale to inhale to exhale, like a circle. Notice if in your breath you have a natural pause, either at the top of the breath after you inhale, or at the bottom of the breath after you exhale, or in both of those places. It doesn't matter which pattern of these that your breath falls into. It doesn't have any implication for our practice. So observing what is natural for you and just noting it. It may change depending on the day, the time of year, or how you feel. Today we're going to explore all of these patterns of breath in a breath practice towards the end of class. But for now, gently deepening your breath And as you breathe in, allow the breath to fill the sides of the body, the back and the chest. As you breathe out, long and slow and steady, gently engage across your navel to breathe out more fully. This gentle drawing in of the belly button. Soften the belly to breathe deeply into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Long, slow, steady breath out, drawing navel to spine to exhale completely. Relaxed in the belly to breathe in fully, fill the torso, lift the spine. Breathing out slow and steady, let that out breath soften shoulders, draw the belly in to exhale completely. Soften the belly to breathe in. Firming the belly at the end of the exhale to exhale completely. One more time. Breathing deeply in. And breathing slowly, steadily, and deeply out. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. And as your breath finds its natural rhythm, again, observe the rhythm of your breath. Is it slow and continuous like a circle? Do you pause at the top of the breath? Do you pause only at the bottom of the breath? Do you pause at both of those places? When you're ready, you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest, lift your chest, take your chin only towards your chest. Feel that gentle lengthening sensation down the back of the body, smiling to yourself, and when you're ready, raising your head, opening your eyes, releasing your hands down. Excellent work, just rolling the shoulders. Very good. So we're going to try to do some continuous breathing, some circular continuous breathing, like a circle pattern, during our practice. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to try to coordinate our breath and movement together. We're going to start with small movements of the head and neck. So here we're going to move the head so that we turn to look over the right shoulder, and then we turn back through center to look over the left shoulder. And we're going to try and breathe in going in one direction and breathe out in the opposite direction, but without pausing the movement or the breath. So let us sit tall, and we'll drop the shoulders back and down, find that lift through the back of the neck into the crown of the head. Let's practice the movement first, turning all the way to the right, without strain, without force, and then all the way to the left. All the way to the right, and all the way to the left. Here, we're going to breathe in as we turn to the right, and breathe out as we turn to the left. Breathing in as you turn to the right, breathing out as you turn to the left. We're going to do a couple more in each direction, just working with your own rhythm of breath, trying to make the movement continuous as the breath is continuous. Last one to each side. And then just bringing your head back to center, take a couple of moments, just rolling the shoulders, make any movements that feel good. And we're going to do the same thing with ears to shoulders. So we're going to start with the ear on the right shoulder or towards the right shoulder, that lift in the center of the body. And from here, breathing in as we take the ear to the left shoulder, left ear to left shoulder, and breathing out as we bring right ear to right shoulder. You can make the movement as slow as your breath. But try to make it continuous so there is no pause in the movement or pause in the breath. And it might feel a little challenging to coordinate that, or it might feel a bit awkward to breathe this way. That's okay, just go with it. One more to each side, so we finish on the right. And then we're going to return to center, just letting the breath find its natural rhythm, rolling in the shoulders, perhaps rolling in both directions. And then we do the same with the head going up and down. So chin to chest, and then chin lifted, but not head back. So chin lifted is what we're after. Start from the center, draw your chin towards your chest. And then when you're ready, breathing in as you lift your head up, chin up. Not pausing, breathing out as you draw your chin down, head down, chin to chest. Breathing in as you come up. Breathing out as you go down, trying to keep that movement and breath continuous. Let's do one more up and down. And then relaxing the breath, bringing your head back to center, rolling in the shoulders, making any movements that feel good. And we're going to do this same practice. So we're really tapping into this continuous breath. And it's helpful for practices where you want to marry breath and body together, which is what yoga is often trying to do, but also to show us where we're perhaps using a pause or using a hold or holding the breath where we don't necessarily want to. So we're going to do this movement with our arms moving forwards and backwards. So we're going to start with our hands together or towards each other in front of the body, sitting really tall. Breathing in as we take the arms as wide as feels comfortable in the time we've got to breathe in. And breathing out as we draw the palms towards each other in the time it takes us to breathe out. So that is an important aspect of the practice. If you run out of breath here, you don't open the arms any wider, you bring the hands back together as you exhale. Maybe move a little quicker to find your range of movement in the next breath. Very good. Let's do two more. And then just relaxing the arms down to the side. We're going to swing the arms backwards and forwards. Just check you're not going to hit anything as you do that. Very good. And you get a little twisting through the body as you do. And here, with the palms facing towards the chair, swinging the arms backwards and forwards. Just going to begin to lengthen into the arms. Let your breath find whatever rhythm it likes now. Maybe allow the chest to twist a touch. And then we're going to bring our arms back down to center. We're going to turn the palms of the hands forwards. So the palms face forwards, and then find this swing in the arms. And the arms first, we're trying to let the arms do most of the work. And then if you want to, you can allow your upper body to move a little, maybe use your feet for support, a little lift in the belly. When you're ready, coming back to center, losing that momentum a little at a time, then turning your palms to face backwards. Same thing. First, lengthening the arms only in this nice big swinging action. I can see some lovely arms swinging on the screen here. And then if you wish to, you can just allow a bit of freedom of movement through the shoulders, trying to keep the palms turned backwards. Feels differently across the chest and shoulders and upper back. When you're ready, bringing your arms back down to center, just taking a moment to sit tall and roll the shoulders a little backwards and forwards. You can shake out your hands as well. And we are going to take our balls and pop them underneath our one foot. We can't put them underneath both feet, obviously, because we've only got one ball. And I think trying to do two spiky balls at the same time would be a touch too much. So let's take that ball and put it underneath the toes of the right foot. We want to, it doesn't matter if you've got a spiky ball or a non-spiky ball, we're moving that ball around the pads of each toe, the back of each toe, and the length of the toe as well. Maybe the place where the toe joins the foot a little bit, sort of the front part of the ball of the foot. We want to try and get even maybe the very ends of the toe, if you can. Toes, there are 5, on the ball. And then when you're ready, you can move, oh, she says, move into the ball of the foot. And this is great. If you've got a carpeted room or if you're on a rug, that's great. The balls generally stay where they're supposed to be. If you're on a yoga mat, that also helps as well. So rolling all around the ball of the foot. Inside and outside edges. Use this opportunity to move your legs and your ankles and your feet around. And then we're going to roll across the space where the ball of the foot joins the underneath side of the foot, where the foot begins to hollow out against the floor. Just using as much effort as feels good. Come into the center of the foot more, maybe the inside edge and outside edge, the parts of the foot that don't normally touch the floor when we're walking barefoot. And then rolling towards the heel of the foot, that space just before you reach the heel. It's quite a delicious space. And then all the way around the heel of the foot itself, the inside and outside edges, the very back of the heel. When you're ready, you can do a little long movement where you sweep the ball from toes to heels, inside and outside edge of the foot as well, a few times. And then when you're ready, you can rest your foot wherever is comfortable on the ball. Just allow as much effort down into that leg as feels comfortable against the sensation of the ball itself. And then when you're ready, step your foot onto the floor and observe the difference between the two sides of the body. So not only in the sensations in the sole of the foot, but the sensations in the legs, the effort in the hips, perhaps other places as well. We're going to move the ball to the opposite side and just begin working around the pads of the toes, the backs of the toes, the length of the toes, the very tips of the toes, and that space where the toes join the ball of the foot. We're just exploring. There are some parts here that never touch anything. When we're in bare feet, some of the backs of the toes don't touch anything. When you're ready, you can work into the ball of the foot itself. And the motions that you make can be anything. They can be circular or sweeping, or just, in my case, just trying to control the ball. inside and outside edge of the foot there, across the ball of the foot as well. And when you're ready, moving into that space where the ball of the foot joins the underneath of the foot. So we don't really want to work right into the center of the foot yet. We're looking for that space where it joins. There's a really nice energy point there, pressure point there on the kidney meridian. So it's great to access that. And then into the center of the foot, moving around the whole of the center of the foot, the inside and outside edges of the foot. My ball's trying to escape again. And then when you're ready, coming towards the heel of the foot, so that part of the underneath of the foot that comes towards the heel, there's a really nice space in there as well. I really like to get to that. And then all the way around the heel itself, across the heel, around the edges of the heel, the sides, the outside edge, inside edge, the back of the heel. And when you're ready, you can do a little bit of sweeping motion where you lengthen the ball along the whole of the foot from toes to heels, inside and outside edges. Just making sure you do a few. When you're ready, rest the foot wherever it's comfortable over the ball, and you can apply as much down pressure with that leg as feels good to you. So just allowing the weight of the leg to rest, taking a moment, and then stepping off your ball and observing the effect. So maybe you can still feel the effect on the first side, but maybe it's more pronounced here on the second side. And I'm just going to pop my ball out of the way. You might like to do the same, somewhere where it won't roll, won't cause a trip hazard or any other things going on, fingers crossed. And we are going to come up to standing. So we're going to place our feet on the floor, our feet that we've really activated. And we're going to firm the belly and lift the body, and just ease the weight onto the feet and then ease it back onto the chair. So a little sit to stand, but we're going to sit and hover a couple of times first. So reaching to hover and then relaxing back. Firm in the belly, reach to hover and relaxing back. Reach to hover, just finding that buoyancy in the legs, and then this time standing all the way up. And it feels so good to stand up after we've been sitting down for that time. As you come up to standing, I always feel it in my hip flexors. I like to give myself a little stretch open of the body, maybe a little ease forward of the hips. And then we'll take our feet nice and wide apart and just give our hips a little stir. So it could be stirring in circles if that feels good to you, or figure of eights if that feels good to you. Taking a moment, going in both directions, whether you're circling or stirring. And then I'm going to move my chair because I need space to do catty check rest. Sorry, I should have moved it in a slightly less loud way. But there we are. Okay, so nice wide feet. And we can feel now that our full weight is on the soles of the feet. We can maybe even feel more effect from the practice that we did with the ball. So the feet should feel energized and alive, and the legs as well. We're going to begin to use those now. So a little soft in the knees and just gently twisting from side to side. And here we're trying to use the belly muscles just enough to give that sense of centered stability. Soft in the shoulders and elbows and fingers, letting the upper body have that childlike quality of movement. The youthful, carefree nature of that movement. And then if it feels comfortable, you can free your heels. So as you pivot on your toes, as you twist from side to side. And maybe again, that gets that childlike quality. And a lot of how we feel is based on what we focus on. If we focus on the aches and pains, that's what we feel. If we focus on the sort of limbered, lubricated qualities of moving in this way, then that's how we feel. We feel vital. We feel that sense of energy. If you wish to, you can add a soft bend in the knees. You can add the hands finishing at the shoulder in front and the hip behind. And we're going to do about 5 more to each side here. Still keeping that gentle lift in the belly. That lift through the crown of the head. And then we're losing the bounce. We're just pivoting. And then bringing the feet to stillness, swaying steadily back to center. As we come back to center, feeling the soles of the feet find purchase on the floor, lifting into the crown of the head, rolling the shoulders up and back and down, feeling incredibly tall and very vital in this moment. Awesome stuff. So we've done some activation work for the feet. We're going to come and use that using the chair for a touch of support as well. So here I'm going to face the back of my chair and I'm going to have my feet about hip width apart. Could be slightly wider if it suits you more. And I'm using my chair for fingertip support. If you think that a wall would be more useful, then feel free to use a wall. Here I want to look ahead to a point of focus that's just above my eye level. And what that does is it gently lifts the head, keeps the neck elongated. So if we look down, we tend to drop the head down. Looking slightly higher than eye level is quite good. And with that gentle lift in the belly and the fingertip touch on the chair, we're going to come onto the balls of our feet, onto our tiptoes, if you like, and then gently release the heels down to the floor. And I want to change the pattern of the breath that we're using. So we've done continuous circular breathing, and this time we're going to breathe in and out and then pause. So we're going to be breathing in as we come up to tiptoes, out as we come down. We're going to take a little pause. We might bend the knees in that pause, okay? So standing tall, lifted in the belly, and we're breathing in to come slowly breathing in up to tiptoes, slowly breathing out, heels down onto the mat at the end of your breath, a gentle soften of the knees in that pause. Breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you go down, and gentle pause. So feel free to alter the rhythm of your movement if the rhythm of your breath is different from my rhythm. I'm not actually breathing because I'm talking. But we're going to do 3 more together. Very good. So having done 3 more of those, just giving the legs a little shake out, should be very nice. And this breathing in and out and pausing is how most people breathe most of the time. So most people do this, what I call a crenellated breath. It goes in and out, and then there's a pause, in and out and pause. So it might feel much more natural to do that than the circular breath, but it's always useful when we're coordinating breath and movement, which is what we really want to marry together in yoga, and where we can really focus on that. So we're going to continue to focus on this pattern of breath as we move. So this time we're going to come in, breathe in as we come up. We're going to breathe out as we turn to one side and then pause. Breathe in to turn back to the center, breathe out and down and pause. So up onto tiptoes and with a twist. We'll go to the left first, sorry. So find that point of focus ahead of you, that lift. And when you're ready, breathing in to come up onto your tiptoes, leave the right hand there, breathe out as you open your left hand to the left, a little twist to the left, pause in the twisted position. Breathe in as you return to center, and breathe out as you lower the heels to the floor, and then in the pause, a little dip of the knees. Same thing to the right, breathing in to come up onto your tiptoes, breathing out, leave the left hand on the chair, open to the right. In your twist, pause briefly before breathing in to return to the front, breathing out to bring the heels down to the floor and give a little gentle bounce of the knees. Let's do 2 more to each side with our own rhythm of breath. So I won't do talking, but follow on the video if you need to. Starting with the belly lifted, breathing in. So if you've got time to do another 1 or 2, because I realize my breath is quite slow, then feel free to do some more. As you focus on exhaling the heels down to the floor, remember to move as slowly as your breath. So really slowly lowering the heels down to touch and bending. Very good. So give your legs a little bit of a shake out, and just notice how that feels. Sometimes it's really, really peaceful to focus on your breath so much that you get this sense of true yoga, this marriage of breath and movement together. So we need to move our feet a little bit. So we've been up and down on tiptoes. Let us just stand on one leg and rotate the foot at the ankle. Just go in both directions. If you need to sit down as you do this, sit down. It's not a problem. And then we're just going to point and flex the foot. It doesn't matter if the leg is ahead of you like this or if it's just down by the side. Point and flex. Same thing on the other side, just taking the weight onto the opposite leg so you can rotate the foot at the ankle a few times in each direction. And now, of course, we're just breathing normally and then pointing and flexing your foot. Great job. And releasing down. So we can come to using our chairs just a little bit to the side of the body. And we are going to, again, coordinate breath and movement together, but this time going to do it with a pause at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. So we can practice that as we stand. So as you stand on your next breath in, just breathing in to feel that lift, and at the top of your breath, just a moment of stillness. And then breathing out, and at the bottom of your breath, that same moment of stillness. Breathing in again, moment of stillness, and breathing out again. A moment of stillness. So this is more of a square shape of breath or rectangular shape of breath. And the pause doesn't have to be the same length of time at both sides of the breath, but often it ends up being so. We are going to use our take our weight onto one leg and step the other foot forwards. And then here we're going to draw a circle around the body with that foot towards the floor and pause, and then a circle around the body in the opposite direction and pause, coordinated with our breath. So start with your foot forward, standing really tall, and lift in the belly muscles. And then as you inhale, take your foot on the floor around the body. And at the top of your inhalation, doesn't matter where your movement gets to, just pause. And then exhale as you draw your foot around the body to the front and pause again. So inhaling as you draw your foot around the body towards the back and pause. And then exhaling as you draw your foot to the front and pause. Let's do 3 more in our own time. Again, looking to coordinate the whole of the breath with the whole of the movement. Last one. When you're ready, stand onto both feet. Take a moment just to observe any effect in the body from the physical movements, and then we can work to the opposite side. So I'm going to stay with my chair on this side, but if you want to swap to using a different support or the wall, you can. We're going to take the opposite foot across the body and stand tall, find that lift, and then on your next breath in, taking your opposite foot around the body to the back at the end of the movement, pause briefly, and then breathing out as you draw your foot along the floor to the front of the body and pausing briefly. If your movement is smaller because that's what your legs do, then just slow the movement down to get it to coordinate with your breath. Here we'll do 3 more in our own time. The focus isn't on the amount of movement or the position of the body, but actually getting the breath and the body to be in that coordination. When you're ready, standing onto both feet, again, observing the difference between the left and right sides, giving yourself a wiggle if you need a wiggle, and noticing if that was easier to do a square or rectangular shaped breath rather than a crenellated breath or a round breath, circular breath. And that may change over time. So your comfort in a particular breath may change depending on the day, how you're feeling, the time of year, all sorts of different reasons why a different breath might be more or less comfortable. But when we come to do relaxation, we are going to focus on the breath that was most comfortable and do that breath. So bear that in mind. If you're not sure, it's okay, there'll be time to decide. So we're going to come to doing a little downward facing dog on our chair. We're going to maybe do a little bit of leg lifting as well. So actually I'm going to turn myself in this direction. So walking your feet away from your chair or the wall, if you prefer to use the wall, a little soft in the knees here. So the knees are bent enough that you can feel yourself extending into the tailbone, lengthening through the whole of the back, but particularly the low back, and maybe swaying the hips from side to side. That gentle lift across the belly to help. And you might feel the weight move across the soles of the feet. When you're ready, you can bring your feet a little bit closer together and start. It doesn't matter with what side. I'm going to start with it here with my left side. So pointing the left toe back. And here we're focused on the movement. The breath is natural. Really firm in the belly. Gentle lift and lower of that back leg. Just feeling the back of the body switch on. Doesn't matter if your foot stays on the floor, that's okay. You can just hold the position. If you're able to lift, you can draw that knee into your chest, chin to chest, and lift the heel towards the buttock, and then stretch the leg long and maybe look a little bit forwards. So knee to chest, if it feels comfortable, heel to buttock, and stretch that leg long. We're going to do one more. We've done lots of single leg work today. Lengthening that leg and then bringing that foot to the floor with both feet on the floor, maybe a little wider, wiggling the hips from side to side. And then feet more together. We'll do the same thing to the other side. Nice and firm in the belly, stretching the opposite leg back. Begin with a lift and lower. We need to use the upper body, pressing the arms down, but firming the back of the body to give that lift as well. Lift and lower. If you're able to do lifting, you can begin to draw your knee into your chest, heel to buttock, nose to knee, and then lengthening the leg long, maybe looking slightly forward, knee to buttock, no, knee to chest, heel to buttock, knee to buttock. That would be an interesting one. Lovely and long, and then one more like this, curling in, stretching out. Drop that foot down to the floor, come into your down dog. Again, give a little sway of the hips from side to side, maybe even a turn through the shoulders. And in your own time, pressing down into the chair, walking yourself forward so you stand upright, rolling the shoulders back and down. If you don't feel dizzy, take the arms around the body and look up. Take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, draw the palms down to the center of the chest. And then just relaxing the arms, giving the legs a little shake out, doing anything that feels like it's useful. We're going to bring our chairs, well, I'm going to bring my chair back to center, bring my supports back in place, and gather everything I need for relaxation. So I've got an extra layer. And my little blanket, not little blanket, little scarf. And as you come to sit on your seat, you might like to wrap that around. I'll even like to tuck my blanket underneath my buttocks on these hard chairs. I also just like to say the word buttocks. And we're going to sit a little bit deeper into our seat so that our backs are supported by the chair back itself. And we want to find ourselves really comfortable for relaxation. So because we've done a lot of breathing today, I like sometimes to make my throat and upper chest nice and warm with a scarf. And you can take any position of the hands that suits you, and maybe just resting the hands together, palms down, palms up, as you choose. Allow yourself a moment to resettle. Once you've sat down, sometimes things shift around. You need a little extra wiggle. And then closing the eyes or gazing gently downwards. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through the mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in. Let all of your effort go. A deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. One more breath in, and surrender your weight back and down into your seat. As you do that, allow your legs to relax, your shoulders to soften, your belly to also be soft if that is comfortable. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel that soften, the space between the eyebrows spreading, the area around the eyes releasing, the mouth, tongue, and jaw relaxing. Feel that the whole of the body is heavy, warm, supported, comfortable, softening and releasing back and down. Move your awareness to your breath. Notice your natural, spontaneous breath. Notice the qualities of your breath, the rate and the rhythm of your breath. How deep is your breath? How smooth is your breath? Notice the parts of the body that move as you breathe. Notice the sensation of air being drawn in through the nostrils, and the sensation of the breath as it leaves the body. Cool as it comes in, warm as it releases out. Move your awareness to the pattern of your breath. Notice if your breath is continuous, if your breath has a pause at the top of the breath, at the bottom of the breath, or in both of these places. Breathe in the most natural pattern for you in this moment. If your breath is one continuous circle of breath, allow your awareness to rest in that continuity, that continuous movement. That sense of being part of something that is endless. If you have a pause in your breath, focus on the stillness in the moment of pause. Without trying to hold your breath, without strain. Simply allow those pauses to be gently extended, a little moment longer. Notice the stillness and the peacefulness, the quiet calm of those moments of pause. Allowing those sensations of calm, quiet and stillness to ripple out through the whole of the body and the mind for the remainder of your relaxation. Gently allow your breath to relax out of this controlled rhythm, into a natural, completely spontaneous breath. If you feel you need to, you can take a few breathe in and sighs. Sometimes that can really help to rebalance the breath after breath work. Move your awareness into your hands and your fingers. Begin to move your fingers, and then move your awareness into your toes and your feet, and begin to move your toes. Maybe roll the wrists and the ankles. When you're ready, you can take a deeper breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe lifting the chest and lengthening the arms, maybe yawning to stretch out the face, maybe reaching the left side up and then the right side up. Oh, if that feels good. When you're ready, you can gather yourself back to center and just take a moment to roll your shoulders a couple of times in each direction. Make any movements with the neck that feel good, maybe a little bit of up and down, or side to side, or ear to shoulder. When you're ready, you can bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Lift your chest and take your chin towards your chest. Feel that gentle sense of lengthening across the back of the neck and the shoulders. Smile to yourself. And then when you're ready, gently raising your head, opening your eyes, releasing your hands down. So I hope that having done this practice where we've focused on the breath, that you take this practice into the rest of your day and your week, and you notice your patterns of breath at different times of the day. So it's useful to maybe, when you come to going to sleep this evening, when you come to lie down, just noticing your natural breath, and if there are any pauses in the breath. And sometimes just focusing on those stillnesses, those pauses, can help you to really settle for a good night's sleep. But also notice, perhaps if you have a moment of confrontation during the day, notice what happens to the pattern of your breath. And that's homework this week, is just to be aware, and perhaps notice sometimes your physical response to the breath. So the breath is a response to our bodies and our minds. It's like the marriage between the two, the bridge between the two. So you can tell what's going on with one or the other, usually by watching the breath. And I hope you find it interesting. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'll see you again for another practice soon. Namaste.